What is up, YouTube? What is up? Today I'm working on a special project. I'm making the cereals for the Dog of Bitcoin plushie project. If you don't know what the cereals are, this is what the cereals are. And it says dog, $dog in the front, and then it has the serial numbers in the back. So for this batch, we have a total of 1,000 plushies. These are the Genesis drops. We're going to be serializing each and every single one of them. And that's going to play an important role in keeping track of who has what. And it also gives it a nice, special, unique touch where it's not just something manufactured, made, and then packaged and shipped. So we'll be cutting out these cereals individually and then putting them on nice little chains which will go around the plushie's neck, which is really cool because it kind of brings the plushie aspect to like a real life pet, if you may. I mean, like if you have dogs, you know what type of sentiment that brings, and that's what we're trying to achieve. So follow along with me today, and I'm going to show you how we're going to load up the files on our Lightburn program to etch it and cut it out on our laser machine. Now, this project is really complicated. I don't know if you have that much idea about how the laser machines work, but when you're doing a whole nesting file like this, where it has 88 bones and serial numbers on each sheet, it's a lot of work to program all of that to get it ready. And then it's also a lot of work to etch one side of it and do the runic symbols and write $DOG, and then turn it around is what complicates the process. So you would have to turn that around, and then you'd have to engrave each serial individually, which we're not going to do it individually because we have a nested file ready to go for all 1,000 of them, which was a lot of work, prep work beforehand. But then you would have to etch these and make sure this entire sheet is lined up correctly for it to cut out the bone. And if it's off by a millimeter, whether it's front or back, up or down, that whole sheet is ruined. So I put a little system together where I have this butted up all the way against the corner of the machine, which I will show you shortly. But this size has to be perfectly cut because these sheets don't come in this size. So I would have to cut these perfectly to get it right. And if you look over here, I have a little mark where I didn't cut it right. This is a test one. It's a test run. And the cereals came off a little bit. They're like a little tilted over to the side, which is not going to work for this. We want these to be perfect. But I'm going to go ahead and cut another sheet to this correct size that I have over here. That way when I butt it up against the corner, it finishes one side. I could flip it over and do the same thing on the other side and have it all lined up. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and I have about 12 sheets that I need to cut, so I probably won't get to the bottom of this tonight. It's already, what time is it? It's 12:41 a.m. So we're going to try to do as much as we can tonight, and then we'll save the rest for tomorrow, but that will be the project that we'll be working on today. So stick around. I ordered these acrylics from CMB Acrylic. It's a 2-ply acrylic, so that means the top is black and the bottom is orange. So when we etch it, we actually get multiple colors out of this. My handy Milwaukee knife. So that's the new line that we have to cut it at. It's a little bit more on the side that we're not going to use and a little bit less on the side that we are going to use. So basically, in reality, when we have it down like this and it's doing the front side and it's done, then when we flip it over like this, this will be the perfect space or gap between the walls for it to get a perfect lineup of all these bones. So let's go ahead and cut this, and we'll go ahead and throw this on the laser cutter, see how it performs. And to cut these acrylics, it's really simple. All you have to do is just give it a decent amount of a light score on it, and then you just flex it and it pops open or breaks. So you don't have to like go too hard on your knife and then that get all squiggly lines and stuff. That's one. That's two. And when we're laser cutting these, we always take off the film. So do keep that in mind. All right, so here I have all the files nested. I have all the nested files over here. All right, so I have all the nested files here. I took all my time to do this beforehand, so I got all the way up to serial number 5000. But we're gonna start with the front nested file, which always remains the same. So we're gonna open this with Lightburn. We're gonna say no to this for now. Now that we have this in here, I am going to give it the correct coordinates. So for instance, my X position, which I have already tested, would be 12. And my Y position would be 18. Now my width for the entire project would be at 375. And that should give us perfect coordinates when I line it up into my machine. For the writing that says dog, we're going to do this in fill mode. And then the power, we're going to, the speed, we're going to do 200 millimeters per second. And the power of the laser would be 25. Here we click OK. Next, I'm not going to do the purple one. I'm actually going to remove this right now, and you'll see why I did that later. Yes, remove. Okay. So then we'll do the line, which would be all the runic symbols, these blues. That we're going to do as a line, and then the power we're going to do here, we're going to do 140. And for the power, we're going to leave that at only 3% of power. And over here, we're going to flip this to constant power, because 3% is a low number. If you leave it right there, the laser acts funky and it doesn't do its thing correctly. So we're going to leave constant power. Let me fix this. That says, so you want 140. Boom. Just double check this. Okay, cool. So that's all we're going to do as far as our setting goes. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect this to the machine, put our piece in there, fix it down with some tape, and get to etching. Okay, so from here, I have my acrylic piece butted up all the way up to this corner right here. So that's done. We know that's not gonna move. I put 2 pieces of tape. I know my laser doesn't cut to these edges, so I'm not worried about it. I know it's safe, and it's definitely strong enough to hold it in place. You could probably not even put that and you'll be fine, but I do it just in case. I don't wanna mess this up. And then here, our next step would be to close this lid. You do not want to be looking at that laser when it works. So we'll go to console and focus. Oops, I gotta connect this to COM6 for that to work. Okay, you see over here it says connected. That's great. Now we will focus. So what that will do is bring the machine down in height to see where the perfect cutting height would be at. So right now you see the machine is moving down slowly. And it'll find the sweet spot. Go back home. And then to be safe, what I like to do is I also like to hit frame. Now then I'll move the machine so I can see where its cutting surface is, what areas it's going to cut, and if it will bump up against the walls. Because this WeCreate laser cutter is not made to work with light burn. It's compatible, but there's a lot of things that need to be worked around, and it was a pretty big challenge for me to figure all these things out, because I really wanted to do this in light burn. That's the program I'm used to using. WeCreate is nice, but for jobs like this, I'd like to stick with light burn. So I'm still learning this and figuring it out, but I do have this specific part that I'm making dialed in. From here, all we have to do is just press start. Typically with WeCreate, you would process it and then just click this button and it will start. But right before I do that, I am going to see how this job would look. And you could see the process that it would do. So basically it would go and engrave the dogs, the $ dog, all the way, and then it would do all the runic symbols. So let's speed that up, and it'll do all the runic symbols. So that's exactly what we're looking for. So now from here, I'm just gonna press play and then pray that this comes out perfectly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so from here, all we gotta do is wait. This process for the first face takes about 30 minutes to complete. There's a lot of little detail. Those little runic symbols are a lot to handle, so it takes a little bit of time. Wow, it's pretty cold out here actually, because I brought my machine outside. I don't want to smell all these fumes in the house, so yeah, it's pretty cold. But in the meanwhile, we wait for the machine to do its thing. I'm gonna go inside and multitask. That's what I love to do. I'll probably be bull posting on X. That's what I really love to do actually. I'm gonna go and bull post on X about dog, $DOG. That's the business. We're gonna go up to the moon, go see how my dog community's doing, the dog army. They always got my back, I always got theirs. A lot of support and love. Yeah, So I'm probably gonna go inside, hop on X, go check on little baby, see how she's doing, if she's still sleeping, if she needs milk or anything. I'm probably talking way too much. It's freaking cold. I'm out of here. Okay, let's see how it's doing. Oh, got all the dogs on there. $ DOG. And now it's doing the runic symbols. I love those runic symbols. They look so good to me. Well, it's 2:30 a.m. and one side is done. Okay, so here I already flipped the sheet upside down. We're gonna go ahead and close this top. And here I imported the back side of the files. And what I do is I take off this where it says dog, just so I could see if it lines up on the files. So if we did this all correctly and that sheet is positioned correctly in the machine, this should be a perfect cut. Now for the green, where it's gonna have the serial numbers, I put the power, the speed to 100 millimeters per second, and the power will be at 40 because this is a fill engrave. We're gonna hit OK, and then for the final cut, which would be these lines, the actual bone, that I have that at 15 millimeters per second and 100% for the power, because it's actually going to cut through the acrylic. So next we will go to console, focus, the machine will do its thing. It's already dialed in, it knows that's it. Next we'll hit frame. It'll go around the material. Just gonna make sure we're not gonna bump into anything. And it seems good to me. From here, all we do is hit start. And fingers crossed we got this right. Here we have it. And that should be cut. Let's see how that came out. Looking good. Very nice. Just gotta wash these up, get all the little debris off of it. If you look closely, you'll see all that. But once it's washed off, it'll be perfect. So I'm just gonna leave this right here, and then we'll wash it tomorrow morning. It's already 3:20 a.m. I should get to bed. But we'll continue the rest of these tomorrow. We got a whole 900 to do. We're on 264. So here we have the finished cereals. This is just one sheet. Each sheet makes about 88. That's how big my machine is. I can't do anything bigger than that. Down the line, I am going to buy a CO2 laser. We Create is fantastic, but for cutting acrylics, it's not the best. It leaves a little bit of charred edges, which you gotta go in with a razor blade and clean off. It's a very intricate and time-consuming process. On this side, you have the dogs. They're all the same. It just says $dog, and then it has the runic symbols. And then on this side, you have the cereals, which there is only one of each. So each sheet gets made one by one. Like, we're literally gonna make all of these one by one, all the way up to however many plushies are gonna be made. And basically, I have a little tape on this side so it keeps it in place and helps me keep track of the cereals. So I do these one at a time as we're putting them on the plushies. But really quickly, I'll just show you this. That's the actual bone tag. And then on the back, you have the cereals. And what I do basically is, this is all done one by one. It's a really cool project because of that, because this is like literally handmade. It's not something that you just buy and ship to people. I literally make all these chains one by one. So we'll split that apart. We'll put on a clasp like this, and then we'll have to close that. And then when we close it, we literally flip the open loop end around, hold it, and make sure the clasp is on nice and straight, which locks it in a lot better, as such. And then we'll grab a cereal like this, put that in there. We'll grab the neck of the plushie, and for this one, it already has one, but I'll show you how I actually do it. So I'll literally sit the plushie on my lap, put this around the neck, to the back, give it a loop, put that back, put the ears out, and now this is ready to get packaged and shipped. How cute is that? Wow, this dog has 2 cereals now. And that looks a little weird, but you get the point. So this is the project that I'm working on. I've been doing all of these laser cuttings with the WeCreate. I did use the Lightburn program instead of the one that WeCreate comes with the WeCreate program, because Lightburn has so much more options and you have so much more control over it. It is definitely more work to figure out the Lightburn system, but once you get it going, it's a really nice system. You can't really use the WeCreate camera. It turns on and everything in there, but it's not all too accurate. And so far, with the alignments and adjustments that I've done, it hasn't been working all that well. So everything is basically like I just use the grid instead of the camera to focus on my parts. But we'll get to it. And I really feel like at the end of the day, we're going to end up getting a nice CO2 laser, which cuts acrylic so much better and has a camera that's compatible with Lightburn. So far, again, this is also a little review on WeCreate. I promise we're going to be releasing more info on it as we do more projects. And I really like it. I like the machine a lot. I've done a couple Stanley Cups. Those came out fantastic. The rotary is amazing on there. I did have to change the claws for the jaws. And they provided that as well. So it works much better on the Stanley. I saw another person on YouTube. They 3D printed a little a cap for the Stanley Cups, which fits better onto the claws, and then you just screw the Stanley Cup on it, and then now better position your cup, so you're always in the same place and you don't have to do no tweaking and moving around on the actual software. So that's really cool one. I will definitely put a video out whenever I get that and figure out where I'm gonna get it, or I might just design it and print it on my one of my 3D printers. But yeah, overall, super happy with WeCreate. I haven't even had one reason to reach out to support. All the info's online. Just a little bit of common sense and you could get that machine to do some crazy cool things. But this is one of the projects that I did. The Stanley Cups is another one. I'm really excited to do a bunch more. And then I will keep updating you guys as we go if the machine has any issues. Something did get misaligned on my last batch of cereals, and I don't know if that was user error or if it's actually something in the software, but I'm going to recalibrate it. I really highly doubt it's user error because I took all the precautions to make sure it wasn't. But end of the day, there might be something I'm overlooking or I'm not looking at. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and recalibrate the machine and see how that performs. But I do feel like it's something simple. And with that I'm gonna go ahead and close off here on this video and get to editing, do what we do, post some more content, we're gonna do that guitar giveaway. I just also filmed that, so we'll make that into a short and also into a video to hopefully get us reach our subscriber goals, so we could go ahead and give back to the community as well. So stay tuned. We're going to be producing a lot more content soon. Let's see how my 3D printed guitar video goes. We're likely going to do one out of wood as well, so that's going to be really cool. And I also promised we're going to be doing a Les Paul kit that we purchased online a while back, which happens to have a lot of errors now.